All right. Well, we are super excited to be heading back to the Orange Bowl. We've got a team that's excited. Really proud of our guys and how they finished the season. To have the opportunity to play in this game is something that you really dream of. Especially here at Clemson, we took 30 years to get back there when we got there in 11, and now to be able to get back there for the fourth time in 12 years. I'm thankful that this team is going to get that experience, and our staff, because it is an iconic, bowl experience, and one that I know everyone will enjoy being a part of. Eric Palms and the entire Orange Bowl staff. They do an amazing job, as does everybody that's affiliated with this bowl. So, and then you throw in the fact that you get a chance to compete against a team like Tennessee that may be the best team in the country this year. They are one of those teams that certainly can play with anybody, and they showed that all year. So it's a great matchup, and I know both teams, both fan bases will be super excited to see these teams compete on the field. But we're thankful for the opportunity, and again, really proud of our team for how they competed and to win this ACC championship and earn the right to get back to the Orange Bowl in New Year's 6. So, with that, I'll take your questions along with just say congratulations to Coach Heupel and Tennessee for them earning the right to be here as well. The job that they, did this year was amazing. Got a chance to see them quite a bit, it'll be a great matchup.
All right, thank you, Coach. Now we're going to open it up for questions. Again, to ask a question, please raise your hand using the raise hand function on your Zoom screen. I'll call upon you. Please unmute yourself, state your name and your affiliation before asking your question. So we are going to start with Tim Reynolds. Go ahead, Tim.
Thank you. Hi, Dabo. Congratulations. Tim Reynolds with the AP here in Miami. We all know the times we're in college football, and we're going to see obviously a lot of kids opting out from around the country from the bowl games and whatnot. What do you do to convince your kids that, you have always spoken very highly of this game. What do you do to convince your kids that the opportunity to play in a game like this doesn't come along every day, and that should sort of enter into their thinking too a little bit sometimes?
Well, we just, it's an opportunity to play, first of all, and not only play, but again, to have an experience that is really special. It really is. I got to go to the Orange Bowl in 1999 when I was coaching at Alabama. In fact, it was Tom Brady's last game and at Michigan there. So that was a special. It was turning 2000. That was the Y2K days. So that was an unbelievable experience for me as a young coach. And then obviously to get back a few times here at Clemson and to know those memories that have been built throughout our teams over the years. So, you share those things and all that. But at the end of the day, I don't think you really should have to convince someone. At the end of the day, if somebody doesn't want to play, you respect their decision and keep moving.
All right, next we're going to go over to Trevor Groves. Go ahead, Trevor.
Hey, Coach. Looks like you're on the plane on your way out to recruit, so thanks for doing this. Two-part question. I guess you got a head start on your preparation for Tennessee as you prepared for the Gamecocks. Just wondering what you were able to glean from watching the film on them. And also, your last meeting against Tennessee was in the 2003 Peach Bowl. Your first year on staff at Clemson. What do you remember about that night?
Well, I remember, first of all, it was a great finish to our season. We went from 5-4 to probably getting ready to be shown the door to 9-4, and Coach Bowden got Coach of the Year, and I got to I got to stay at Clemson longer than 10 months or whatever. So I remember that very well. It was a great finish to our season, the way we finished. And I remember Tennessee was a very good team, a very talented team. But we were really playing our best ball there. Charlie Whitehurst was hot, the receivers, and Chad Jasmine, I think, was the MVP of that game. So it was just an electric atmosphere in the Peach Bowl there, and a fun way to finish the year. It was a big win for us. It was a huge win for sure, because Tennessee, I think, was a highly ranked team, maybe a top 10 team in that game. But it was special because, again, it was a good way to start off my first year there at Clemson, going on, I guess, 20 years ago now. So that's what I remember.
All right, next we're going to go over to Jason Parker. Go ahead, Jason.
Coach Jason Parker, NBC6 in Miami. Two-part question for you. Number one, you talked a little bit about your history, both at Alabama and Clemson, with playing in the Orange Bowl. Talk about what you're going to tell your players and those guys who haven't experienced this Orange Bowl about the history of this game and what it means to be able to be a part of this game. And the second part of the question, there was a time just a couple weeks ago when you guys looked like a possible playoff team. How do you respond to maybe some of the fans or some of the people who may not be as hyped up about coming to a non-playoff game?
Well, first of all, the history of the Orange Bowl is amazing. I mean, some of the greatest games ever in college football have taken place at the Orange Bowl, and it's a big time experience. It's a big time bowl. And then as far as all part of your question, I mean, both of these teams are playoff teams, caliber teams. There's 4 spots, and it's really, really hard to be in the Final Four. We're fortunate. We've been there a few times and I've had some success there, but it's really hard. And you know what? You don't control that. Because technically, you could have the same record as someone else and someone not put you in there. So I think the biggest thing is if 11-2 and being your league champion and going to the Orange Bowl, if you're not happy with that, I don't really know what to say to you. It's really hard to win. And, man, the players and the staff work extremely hard. There's not many teams out there that have 10-plus wins. Tennessee and the season they've had, unbelievable. And then for our team as well. But both of these teams, even though we're not in the Final Four, we're both teams that certainly for 12 to 13 weeks were one of those few teams that had the opportunity. And, we both had opportunities to kind of play our way in there. We didn't get that done, but you got to give the opponent credit. And, and again, that's football. But both teams had an amazing season. And this will be an exciting opportunity to finish our year again with a playoff caliber game. That's what this is. And next year's one more year of the Final Four, and then it's going to 12. So I think this is a great experience for our team, the staff, both teams, and then also for our fans. It's Miami. It's the Orange Bowl. You're playing Tennessee. I think it's anytime you get a chance, if you're a fan of your team, and anytime you get a chance to see them play, to me it ought to be exciting. We only get at most, if the whole world goes perfect, we get 15 games, right? 15 days to play this game or to be a fan of your team on the field that day. And we're fortunate we're going to have 14, and so I'm thankful we got one more game to play. Hopefully we'll have a great crowd. I don't doubt that we will, and a great environment. 2 regional fan bases that I'm sure will passionately support each team.
All right, next we're going to go over to Dan Harrelson. Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned 2 previous games there, 2003, or I guess it may have been the 04 in January against Tennessee in the Peach Bowl. Did you have any input on the fumble Ruski? And then going back to the 2000 Orange Bowl, Andrew Zow was your quarterback, obviously, with your program for his second year. How special is it to have him part of your program now?
Yeah, I believe that was Brad Scott there who was our offensive coordinator, and we had that little play. I think it was Kyle Browning, little number 28, that we handed that ball to, and everybody kind of comes out, you put it under his legs and run out, and he goes out the back door. was a great play in that game. And I know we hit the trap a couple times with Chad Jasmine. He had a heck of a game. And Derek Hamilton and some of those guys, receivers, Kevin Youngblood had a nice game. The head coach at Virginia now, Tony Elliott, was playing in that game. So there was a lot of great moments for sure. And yeah, I was talking about that with Andrew Zal the other day. You just when you're in the moment of things, you don't really know. And I just remember that game, and we have the lead, and there's like a minute something left, and there's this long, gangly guy out there at quarterback for Michigan, and you think, well, pretty good shape here, and all of a sudden, this guy Tom Brady takes him right down the field, ties it up, and we go to overtime, and we missed the extra point in overtime. That's how we lost that game. So I won't ever forget that either. But and then you're going about your business, and next thing you know, 60 years later, Tom Brady is still doing that and making a living doing it.
All right, we got time for one or two more questions. Let's go over to Mitchell Summers. Go ahead, Mitchell.
Hey, Coach Swinney, this is Mitchell Summers with Fox Carolina. So what do you expect to see out of Cade Klubnik in a top 7 matchup in the Orange Bowl in his first career start at quarterback?
Well, hopefully just, first of all, great preparation like he's been having, but then just, playing within the system and, just being smart with the ball and just, doing what he's coached to do. And I thought he did an amazing job of that last night. And, so really just hopefully pick up where he left off. But he was accurate, made good decisions outside of maybe one or two in the run game. He extended some plays, did some things with his legs. So just continue to, again, play within the system, bring that great energy and protect the football.
All right, our last question for Coach is from Trevor Groves. Go ahead, Trevor.
Hey, Coach, just curious what you saw from Tennessee in preparing for the Gamecocks. Obviously, Hendon Hooker, went out in that game, unfortunately, but just your impressions of their offense, defense, and schematically.
Yeah, well, not just the Gamecocks. I mean, I got to see them several times this year, and I mean, they're unbelievable. I haven't obviously, got into, really breaking them down and game planning, but I would imagine that they got to lead the country in scoring or offense. I can't imagine they don't. I mean, as explosive an offense as I've seen in a long, long time. Unbelievable tempo, incredibly fast, receivers making plays. This is a team that you can tell just has fun playing. You can tell that they're very connected, that, Coach Heupel and his staff, they've done an unbelievable job of building, this culture and really putting it together right out of the gate. It's not easy to do. And, and I know they missed some plays against South Carolina, and South Carolina hit some amazing plays. And, but man, they bounced right back the very next week, got back on track and, shut out Vanderbilt, scored 1 million points and a bunch of yards. So, there'll be a handful for sure. I'm glad we don't play them this week. Hopefully we can find a way to make them punt a couple times because they don't punt very often.